You better not cry, you better not cry, you better not cry, you better not cry, you better not cry. Good evening, laddies, lasses, and lasses. Welcome to the click you smell absolutely astounding today, which is not what is making me cry. You indeed do not smell like onion, I suppose. And if you do smell like onion, it's probably a very beautiful little onion, isn't it? No, what does make me cry is not just people being incorrect online. One of the things online that you realize when you spend way too much time here, like I do, hashtag chronically online, that's a brag, I suppose, is that misinformation is rampant on the internet, right? The problem nowadays isn't necessarily how to get information, it's how to decide what information is good. But what takes it one juicy, stinky step further is when people are really confident about being incorrect. And that's what we're doing here. I have gathered posts online that are confidently incorrect so we can debunk them together and combat misinformation. I'm just trying to sell this like we're doing something good. In reality, we're just laughing at like stupid tweets and stuff. So sit back, relax, grab a snack, and enjoy. Mwah.
But Click, how am I supposed to enjoy a snack when you're just the whole meal?
You're the whole meal.
Breaking! Governor Sarah just said that climate change is a hoax. What's your reaction?
Oh, this is beautiful, beautiful Twitter discourse. Let's get into it, shall we?
She is correct. Hopefully more govs will admit this.
That's a sentence. Climate change is 4 times a year. Okay, spring, summer, fall, and winter. No. Seasons change throughout the year. Not climate. Also, the Earth cycles, adapt. Wait, okay, we're actually past flat Earth now because the Earth, like, rotates. Is that what he means? Okay, we're halfway there. She is right. Unprecedented climate change has caused sea levels at Sydney Harbor to rise approximately 0 centimeters over the past 140 years. You see, singular picture. Not accounting for, tides or anything for that matter. Wow. Sarah has never lied or been wrong. Poor Grok AI agrees with her. Why is everyone in this thread like from a verified account? That blows my mind.
She is right. The first big hoax the Dems foisted on our country. They are all used card salesmen. We're gonna, insult someone. At least get the term right.
Used card salesmen. Hey, you want this old credit card? I promise it's still good. 1620, Plymouth Rock at sea level. 1920, Plymouth Rock still at sea level. And 2023, Plymouth Rock still remains at sea level. Okay, not accounting for any of the previously mentioned things, but oh my god, the target emoji. I agree with her. Great, thank you. Literally everyone in this entire thread have check marks. What is up with Twitter and check marks? I've seen this meme around where people say that if you have a check mark, you can just dismiss the person's opinion. I didn't think it was quite this ridiculously true until I scroll these sort of threads.
She is absolutely correct.
She is right.
I agree with her. Mostly. Most discerning American figured that out many years ago. Yes, of course, climate change is a hoax.
Every single account is verified. This is absolutely nuts. Twitter is just a cesspool of paid $8 to agree with garbage opinions and then get made fun of on YouTube. Isn't that just a beautiful ecosystem?
Elon Musk came to the US with no money and graduated with over $100,000 in debt, despite scholarships and working 2 jobs while at school. Look at this picture of Musky Husky.
Readers added context they thought people might want to know. This post is misleading. Elon Musk was born into an extremely wealthy family in South Africa. Yeah, community notes, one of the good things to come out of Twitter, not gonna lie, absolutely gorgeous. So you said Goku trained on planets several times Earth's gravity, right?
Yes, also trained at 500 times Earth's gravity.
Could he handle 10,000 times Earth's gravity?
Likely not, lol. Who is that?
Number 1 US hero is coming! Star and Stripe. Her quirk is when she touches something and gives it a verbal command it's forced to obey. So she could touch Goku and say, if Goku moves, his heart stops beating. Also applies to inanimate objects. So she can say, air increase pressure by 100,000 times in this area. However, she can only have 2 rules active at a time, and she uses one to increase her strength to insane levels.
Lamau, I stopped reading at she.
Wait, hold on a second. What does he mean by she? Does that mean that women can't be superheroes, or is it like a trans thing? Let's dig into it, shall we? I'm so looking forward to figuring out which one. Mad that a woman could beat Goku by just touching him? Are we really getting into like arguments about like being upset on the behalf of characters that don't exist? Oh, this is beautiful. Hell yeah, this is what I'm here for.
Maybe that works in that weird feminist universe, but not in the actual world. Anime world! That may work in this fake power girl feminist universe, but in the real anime universe, I don't think so. You plebeian.
We have a man of science on our hands. Of My Hero Academia, one of the biggest anime series of the time. Are you good?
Laughing emojis. No trick in any world or universe could defeat anyone from Dragon Ball Universe.
Can Goku withstand 10,000 times Earth's gravity? She also, runs the military.
No woman could ever successfully do that, Lemafau. This anime is delusional.
Ah, yes, indeed. Anime. You know, the realistic series where you have people punching through planets. You have magic and people just leveling up their power by doing 100 push-ups per day. Ah, isn't that beautiful? But God forbid a woman runs the military. That is a level of fiction that is not welcome here. She has a quirk that can force anything to obey her command. I don't care what gender you are, that is near godlike.
It's definitely delusional anime. I remember seeing an argument on Twitter a while ago, because sometimes I just feel too smart and I need to scroll Twitter to melt my brain, I guess. And one argument I remember seeing was in fantasy, you couldn't have curly hair because it was too unrealistic for the setting or something like that. You have literal dragons running around shooting laser beams and shit, but you can't have curls. Anyway. A woman being strong is too crazy for you? They can be strong, but they portray a woman being able to destroy men. Lamau, a bad anime idea. Maybe for this generation it's great. Everyone is a feminist.
So no woman alive could destroy any man alive?
Oh, I've definitely seen some fat frick guys with tatas whom any woman can destroy, but not on the grand scheme.
Have you seen female bodybuilders? They're pretty freaking strong.
Yeah, vanity muscles don't equate to fight skill.
Female MMA fighters exist. Are you gonna say it's crazy that in one of the MHA universe, the 5th best hero is a woman? Also, women biologically have a higher pain tolerance than men.
Well, again, pain tolerance does not equate to fight skill.
Still not as simple as men strong, women weak.
Yes, it is, Lemau. I don't know what you're trying to justify.
This discussion is really derailing. Oh my god, I was arguing MMA fighting and bodybuilding. Okay, this is absolutely beautiful. Anime discussions, you go.
99% of men would destroy 99% of women.
Weren't we talking about I don't know, gravity powers? Or something like that? How did this dude get into, just making up statistics? Can I post this on Reddit?
Absolutely. Lemau, remember how you always say people can only speak on subjects they're experts in? How are you gonna argue combat with me? Yes. I am an expert about the real world, the anime world.
I am just arguing that it's not as simple as all men can beat all women. Most people are around the average. That's basic statistics.
Refer to my statement above.
You're not even talking about combat specifically, you're talking about how women are weaker. Are you a biologist now? Jesus Christ, what an absolute cesspool of a discussion. Oh my god. One thing you learn when you dig deep into statistics, which you don't really have to dig that deep for, to be honest, is that there is a vast difference between some population average and whatever there is on an individual level. An individual level will always be much more variable than, for example, a population average, which I think is a good takeaway to have in a lot of different situations in life. Using very broad averages to assume anything about an individual very quickly leads into stereotyping or just discriminatory behavior and that kind of stuff. And most people consist of a lot of variables in real life, is something you realize. Humans are quite complex. So, I don't know, you could argue that men and women are typically a bit different size on average and all that kind of jazz, but, this is a wild discussion, fam. Come on.
Atheists should neither be permitted to run for office nor testify in court proceedings. Atheists have no reason to do justice or tell the truth since they believe that they will never be held accountable for their deeds.
Oh my god, this is such a self-report! The only reason I ever do anything good is because I believe I'm threatened to do so. Did you just admit that you would never do a good thing unless you're threatened with eternal damnation if you don't? Who's a good person now?
After 2 months of talking, I told this guy yesterday that I wasn't ready for a relationship. And he responded,
"It's been great. Hope you have a good one."
and then he blocked me. No effort, no pressure applied. I am devastated.
I mean, okay, this could be interpreted in two ways, right? It can be interpreted as he was looking for something more, he's not interested in more friendships, and that's like fine, and maybe he has too many feelings to be close without like feeling hurt and that sort of thing. That's perfectly valid. You should like find people that want to look for the same thing you are. Or this could be taken as like, why did he take no for an answer? Why did he just try harder? Jesus Christ. Oh, that's wild. Did you know that today's episode is sponsored by Raycons, baby? Woo! If you haven't pulled the trigger on a pair of Raycons, or even if you have but you're in the market for another pair because they're just that good, now is the time to check them out because they just launched their upgraded model of the best-selling everyday earbuds. The upgraded everyday earbuds offer everything you love about Raycons and some more, because now you also get ergonomic design and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair with 2 devices at once and active noise cancellation. Raycon also offers a 30-day happiness guarantee. I personally love the quick charge function. 10 minutes of charging yields 90 minutes of battery. The active noise cancellation makes them a great accessory for travels or on your way to work. And their weatherproof and sweat-resistant design makes them amazing for bringing with you to the gym. I find my Raycons to be really comfortable earbuds that I bring with me to the gym or my travels every single day. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/to-click for 15% off your Raycon purchase plus free shipping. Thank you so much, Raycon, for sponsoring this video. And now, back to the memes. Mwah. Went for my yearly gyno visit today. There was a girl, about 19, there with her dad. He was arguing with the doctor that he wanted to be present for his daughter's exam. She's 19. Okay. The girl did not want him present. The doctor told him it was the girl's decision. He was not happy. I was like, what the frick? That is absolutely wild. Hey, my child, that's 19. Why though? And I suppose part of it is also that you want the privacy when you do this kind of medical thing so people can report, like, for example, really bad abusive stuff that may happen in various households. But if nothing else, it's also just kind of like privacy and stuff. Like, why would the dad need to be in the room for this? Bruh. 10 out of 10. Love the realistic look. Look at this beautiful flag emoji. It should have 51 stars, not one skull emoji. First of all, this is Liberia. Second of all, USA flag has 50 stars.
Liberals don't have a flag, Lamau. Are the liberals from Liberia?
These people can't be real. I'm looking forward to the day when no one is actually on the internet. It's just bots fighting endlessly and all the humans have just left because it's such a cesspool by now. Is that the future of the internet? Isn't that like an actual theory about where the internet's heading? Just the dead internet when everything is just bots and engagement farming, but there's no like real humans left. Ah, what a beautiful future. We can all go live in the woods and eat pine cones again.
I've never graduated school, never made it past the 5th grade. I do mathematical equations and the quadruples of algebra without even doing it on paper.
Okay.
You ask me any mathematical question, I bet you I can tell it to you right off the bat.
All right, it's pretty cool.
Diagrams, other, astrology.
Astrology, okay.
Mathematical dimensions.
Yeah, all those. 144.
12 times 12 is 91. 12 times 12, I'm sorry, 12 times 12, 909,000. 967, 909,968, 21,000.
What?
792.
It's closer.
91? But 12 times 12 is 24. Right?
Okay.
No, 12 times 12.
What?
28.
What do you mean?
8 languages, I know.
What do you mean? Wait a second. One thing I have to do. Does my calculator actually allow this? I need to check if it did like 12 to the power of 12 by mistake in the first one. I need to check if that is the case.
12 to the power of the 12 is...
No, that's way bigger. That's like 3, 6, 9, 12 zeros. Yeah, no, that's also way off, fam. Darn. Yeah, this video is absolutely atrocious, but an easy way to do math like that, like how do you know 12 times 12 is 144, is to split it up. So you take 10 from the first 12, multiply it by 12, which is 120, and the remaining thing you have is only 2 times 12, which is 24. 24 plus 120 is 144. So you have those like simple rules where you can split stuff up, which makes it easier to do in your brain. 13 times 13, for example, 169, same principle. You get 130, and then you have 3 left over, which becomes 39, so you have 39 plus 130, which is 169. So good little mathematical rules to show off to your friends when they're too drunk to realize how like mediocrely impressive it actually is at parties. Life hacks. My mom.
Amazing, colorful Earth. Why don't pictures like this ever trend?
I just know when there's a caption like that, it's just some AI-generated trash that all the boomers on Facebook buy into. Let's see if I'm correct.
Close your eyes 70% and see the magic.
Ah, it's children making up Jesus. Isn't that beautiful? But if you zoom in a bit on those kids, look for example on the foot down there to the right. Look at that. That's not what a foot is supposed to look like. There's like 8 toes and 2 layers on the foot. Oh my god, not to mention the arms of the poor kids. The kid on the left has 4 arms. Do you remember when we were kids? And our parents would always tell us, like, don't believe everything you see on TV. But then they turned around and started believing everything they see online. What's up with that? It's so weird. Crowded space, except when photoshopping astronauts. Okay, first off, the first picture is like a rendition, right? An artistic rendition. The pieces of rubble are not actually this big. You know, like debris from satellites are not actually the size of countries. The amount of like space around Earth that is cluttered with trash, if you just measure like volume-wise, is a pretty small percentage of the space around Earth, so to say. You're not gonna like literally see it like a cloud of planet-sized trash like this. But they move incredibly fast in orbit, which means that if we keep shooting up trash and not getting rid of it, it means that it's difficult to shoot up new things because they would just get rammed by small pieces of trash. So that's the issue. It's not like it's like literally encased in trash so dense that we can't see the sun. That's not really the first issue that's gonna occur. Flat maps were made before globes. Flat compasses only tell you whether to go right, left, backwards, or forwards, not right, left, up, or down. Flat roads have hills, not curves. What do you mean go down? Digging into the ground instead. You should have turned into the dirt 200 meters ago. Gee, thanks, GPS. If I got a map and said, point to Russia, you would point either left, right, behind us, or straight ahead of us. You would not point upwards or downwards, even though that's where the map and globe say to do. Yeah, but it's because we travel along the surface of the Earth, or when we fly planes, we go over the surface, so we treat the whole thing like a surface. You don't drill through the Earth if you're gonna go to Russia. That's why. We treat the Earth as a plane because that's where we operate. You know, that's... Oh my god. If the sun rises and sets on the east and west, then the other semicircle of the world would never get a chance to see or get sunlight. If space is all around us, then we should be able to get to space by going downwards as well, not just upward. Also, with all the flooding that has happened over the past 100 years, the Earth would be filled with water, and we would not exist anymore. So since the Earth is flat, the water falls off the edges and what is that? Disintegrates? Disintegrate? Is that a word? Into space. Gravity is a force that pulls down, not inwards. Okay, but where does the water come from, though? If it just keeps falling into space and disintegrates, why aren't we just out of water? Where does it all go, and how does it come back? Gravity is a force that pulls down, not inwards. No, but it's just because it feels like it's down because we have evolved with feet that, walk on the surface that pulls us down. Down doesn't really exist in space. Down is just in a direction we have made up wherever gravity goes, because it makes sense. It's falling down, but in reality it's falling towards the core of whatever is like the biggest gravitational pull. Down isn't really like a like a thing that exists. It's very relative. Relativity is a thing. If I said point to the stars, you would point upward. However, if the Earth was actually round, you would point everywhere because the round Earth is surrounded in every way by space.
Yeah, but it's because we can't see it. Oh my god.
Oh, people like this
tickle a very specific annoying bone because they think they're so smart by being so incredibly annoying.
Oh, if you wanna point to Australia, why aren't you doing this instead of pointing like go to the west? Because you could technically dig there.
And then we round off this tirade with, the Earth is flat. And then someone just posted a picture around Earth. The Earth is flat because we don't point down into the ground when people ask for directions to Australia. Holy shit, dude. 2 minutes isn't 120 seconds. No, 6 and 6. It's 200 seconds. What? A minute is 60 seconds. Okay, how much is 6 and 6? Okay, 120. 1 minute 20. 120 seconds is 1 minute 20. 200 seconds is 2 minutes. Wait, what? Wait, what? 1 minute 20, okay. You're almost there. You're almost there. 60 seconds, yeah? Uh-huh. What even started this argument? Why are they arguing about minutes and getting it wrong? 100 seconds is 1 minute. But 200 seconds converted is 2 minutes. Stop being an idiot! Oh wait, they're actually sitting down. Hold on. Oh my god, this is amazing. Okay, take 120 for example. Uh-huh. Here are the seconds. Here are the minutes. Okay, how much does it say with the decimal point? Okay, so you just divided it by 100, basically.
Alors, c'est 1 minute 20. Eh ben, t'as la preuve par toi-même. Et là, t'as la preuve par A plus B. Que 120 secondes, ça fait 1 minute 20.
Uh-huh, so 1 minute is 100 seconds. Okay.
Et avec ce schéma-là, personne
And with this pattern, no one can get it wrong.
D'accord? Et là, par A plus B. Vous êtes témoin que là, je vous ai montré ça.
I love how they actually sat down and did it on paper.
Ça, moi, je suis...
And he still doubles down. That is beautiful. I do like appreciate the confidence that even when you write it down in front of you, you still get it wrong. And so confidently. Like the thing with minutes is that if you divide it by 100, it doesn't really do that much because minutes to seconds is in the magnitude of 60s. You know, so dividing it by 100 doesn't really make a lot of sense. It can make sense, for example, when you go below a second and you want to have like milliseconds, for example. Then it works in like zeros and that kind of stuff. But not seconds to full minutes. That is indeed 60, or minutes to hours for that matter too. Like this is... Dividing it only makes sense if you do it in the same base as the calculation system is.
I speak American.
English.
I already told you, it isn't called English. English is only spoken because of America, not England.
Why is it called English?
Not because of England, it's called America.
We only speak American here. Yeehaw.
Memes for adults. No snowflakes allowed. You know it's gonna be a very humorous page. When they're already like aggressive in the title or whatever. That always shows great humor. Anyway, don't forget to thank a straight person this month for your existence, peace signs.
Oh my god.
Or a gay person who adopted or did IVF or natural birth.
They still needed 2 straight people for those to happen.
Ah, yes, indeed, I forgot it. When you're gay and donate to like a sperm bank or something, the sperm are like, nah fam, I'm so gay, not gonna do this. I'm only gonna do things with other with other splooshies and little. Absolutely astounding. Gas stations exist. There are no such places as charging stations. What? If they did exist? What do you mean if they did exist? I can walk down to like my local store and there are 2 charging stations. What do you mean? People would be there waiting for their electric cars to charge for hours. No, but you... Oh my god, you charge it while you do other things. Electric cars are currently selling in their early prototype phase. Oh my god, you can go to like your local whatever and you can see the charging pole yourself. What? Are you saying electric cars aren't real because like electricity isn't like a liquid you can spray into your car? This... Oh my god, man. Crack the code. A numerical lock has a 3-digit code. Hint, 682, one number is correct and well placed. 614, one number is correct but wrong placed. Oh, this is really fun! 206, two numbers are correct but wrongly placed. And 738, nothing is correct. And 780, one number is correct but wrongly placed. This is really fun puzzles. I like this. Okay, so the different piece of information we have is that if any number is correct, if no numbers are correct, and if any number has like correctness and a correct location. I want you to do this puzzle as well in the comments. Let me know once you have cracked it and see what code you get. I'm looking forward to see how people crack this and how they think. Explain how you think as well. I really enjoy these sort of puzzles. Heck yeah. So, okay, if we start off by doing this, we look at the first one. One number is correct and well placed. So in this box, there's like one number that is both correct and in the right place. Second hint says one number is correct but wrong placed. Okay, this means the 6 can't be the one because the 6 is only placed correctly in one of them but not in the other, right? So that means the 6 is out of the picture. Two numbers are correct but wrong placed. Okay, so we know that two of the numbers are 2 and 0, but we don't know the locations because the 6 is still out of the picture. So that also means we don't have an 8 because in the first box it says one number is correct and well placed, which is the 2 now. So we know the last number is going to be a 2. Nothing is correct is 7, 3, and 8. Yeah, we already took the 8 out, but that's okay. And then we have 780. One number is correct, but wrongly placed. Okay, we know the 8 is out of the picture, and we know the 7 is out of the picture due to that box, so the 0 is going to be correct, but wrongly placed. So we know that the numbers are, what is it, a 4, a 0, and a 2. And from the first one, we know that the 2 is in the last box, and then we also know that the 4 is not in the last box, so that has to be in one of the first two, but the 0 is in the middle due to the third one, and that is not in the correct one, so those two need to switch places. So the correct code should be 042. I like these kind of puzzles. Let's see if we got it right. 042, let me know what you got in the comments. Heck yes. 062, that's probably not correct. 620, that's not correct. 762, what do you mean 7? It literally says like nothing is correct. No, there are no 7s. Or 672, but both your options have 7, and it specifically said no 7s. Either one, but them is the right numbers, I can guarantee it. What is your top reading level? 062. Okay, so I don't think anyone got it right, but that person is really doubling down on the 7s. My god.
For some mysterious reason, in the past few months, there's been loads of videos popping up all over social media of people buying what looks like fake food.
Okay.
It all started just a couple of weeks ago in the United States when several people started noticing that there was something off about the watermelon that they were buying on the supermarkets.
I like to rinse my watermelon before I cut it, and...
Okay, so you're like peeling a melon, and that means it's fake? Okay, so they're cutting the watermelon, and like, water comes out, I guess. You know, it's like bubbling out a little bit. The watermelon is kind of sweating, if you will.
There are videos where people buy watermelon from the supermarket, and it looks strange. Sometimes it looks like plastic, sometimes it makes these weird noises, and sometimes, or many times actually, it feels as if it's made out of rubber.
Cut it open and it was like plastic. Tasting it was absolutely horrible. I didn't really know what to do with it, so I threw it outside. This is a week later. It looks like mud. What's going on?
Okay, decomposed red fruit looks gross. Yeah, no, I can see that. That's not very wild.
It wasn't just the watermelons.
But that's just a non-ripe avocado. Non-ripe avocados are super tough if you ever like opened one by mistake prematurely.
Blueberries, bananas, and the list goes on.
Is this like an actual conspiracy that all fruits are like plastic now?
Check this out.
It's left in her little bowl and I put it down the drain for the garbage disposal.
Nothing like posting random TikToks of squeezing unripe fruit as a conspiracy. This is great.
Why is there a rubber blueberry in my toddler's?
I don't think it's rubber. I just think it's...
It actually looks as if it's made out of silicone or something like that.
Look at this. Look at a magnet. That I got from here.
Okay. You don't think it's either like faked or, you know, it's the moisture that's just sticking this very light piece onto the plastic?
Are we possibly eating fake food? What's your take?
Oh, maybe this is actually how we get people to care about microplastics and stuff. We just start these wild TikTok conspiracies about blueberries being plastic because it's hard. Have you ever been in the forest and picked like blueberries yourself? As a Swede, I've done that plenty of time, and I can tell you that blueberries that are just not ripe are incredibly tough. And one thing that you learn when you work, for example, with supply chain management when it comes to freshware is that a lot of freshware is shipped when it's not quite ripe yet. That's how you get it to last longer, which is also why, for example, that stuff that is grown much more nearby, like for example Swedish strawberries in summer, are much sweeter than strawberries you can buy in winter that are shipped from other places. It's because strawberries that are shipped very far away in the winter are packed up when they're not quite ripe yet, meaning that they don't get the full flavor and that kind of stuff. So there's very simple explanations for this kind of stuff. And readers added context. This fruit is not fake, it's just not ripe. Indeed, there are many methods for picking up ripe stuff in the supermarket. Become an expert avocado feeler. Don't squeeze them, don't destroy them, but like, fondle the avocado to make sure it's just right. Alright, next post, please. I mean, like when you said, could care less.
You have to be seriously bored to be a grammar nerd, this post. Not going to mention I used the phrase correctly, and to care less means you don't care at all, i.e. completely indifferent. At least you're cute, right? Oh yes, Lindy, look at this. I'm googling could care less dictionary. One couldn't care less. Couldn't care less or could care less are both used to mean someone doesn't care at all.
But Google literally corrected. This is one of my pet peeves. This is one of my pet peeves. Like, could care less means I do care because I could care less. It's I couldn't care less because I already give zero fricks.
Both are accepted in college academics as proper English.
Is it though? Because literally, like, Google corrected you and said you were wrong. Not that is like academic English or whatever, but it didn't pass the first poo test.
25 liters? Who wrote that shite? Liters is a measurement that is used for liquid substance, not solid.
You thought you ate? Before being a smart butt, make sure you aren't talking out of your butt. Liters can be used to measure solids. Any matter that has volume can be measured by liters. 1 liter is 1,000 cubic centimeters. Ah, yes, indeed. You cannot measure something in liters unless it is in liquid. Otherwise, it's called, Next meme. Guys, get good electrolytes and hydration. Also, heel elevated shoes shorten the calf.
Electrolytes are not a real thing.
Please, tell me more.
An electrolyte is just an aqueous substance that is able to be decomposed through electrolysis. This includes salt water, which is basically what include electrolytes mean, as well as pure water.
I'm not sure where the parentheses is supposed to stop, but it never stopped.
That'd be absolutely amazing though. Can you imagine if this person just started selling like sports drinks? It's like, it's just fucking seawater. Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, 2 bars. Positive.
Darn, hope you feel better. Quarantine.
Are you stupid?
Yes, this is, if this is the partner you're texting, bad choice of procreation.
I had bobs before other girls, and I felt ostracized for it.
They are big, but they're definitely not ostracized.
I felt ostracized for it. Wait, so being ostracized means that parts of your body are the size of an ostrich. Oh, that's an amazing definition. I need to write like a dictionary of like ridiculous definitions like this. That would be so funny.
I think I might actually be black.
Why is that?
Just the way I act. I feel very natural and comfortable saying the N-word and stuff.
I don't think that makes you black. I just think that makes you racist. They're different.
Not everyone will get this. Look at this. It's a pie. It's pie around the pie.
We all get it. We all do.
Only some people, only 99.9% of people will get this. Show that you're part of the 99.9% that knows the pie and the pie.
Stop saying climate change is due to man-made effects. It's objectively and factually wrong. It's getting to the point where it's a joke because everyone knows it's not the case. A bad joke that doesn't seem to want to end.
YouTube comments is a source for academic integrity.
The ignorance. Sunscreen blocks vitamin D from absorbing. Sunscreen has so many chemicals.
2,073 people read this and be like, yeah, I'm not gonna put on sunscreen because I gotta maximize that vitamin D and also maximize that vitamin C, vitamin cancer. Sunscreen doesn't block vitamin D, and yeah, everything in this world is made of chemicals. Is this first person like the same kind of people who like sunbathe their butthole because the skin is more sensitive and pale and that kind of stuff, so it's gonna absorb more vitamin D and not just gives you, I don't know, ass cancer? Water is a chemical.
Water is an element, genius, not a chemical.
Julie, do not tell me to go back to school when you don't know that water is the chemical compound of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom.
No, but it's an element. Haven't you seen the periodic table of elements? You have water and wind and dirt, I think.
Oh god, this thread goes on for 600 more replies. These insufferable comments go on for 600. I remember I had a TikTok that went semi-viral a while ago. I don't post TikToks anymore because I found the platform to be unbearable as a creator, but I posted some random TikTok when I was making like a funny voice. Oh my god, I'm so Swedish, look at me being totally not sarcastic. And I remember I found a thread under this TikTok when I was just scrolling casually that was like 300 replies long, and it was a bunch of like, I'm assuming American kids arguing if me making that voice was racist or not because it sounded like PewDiePie. As in, it's racist to make a Swedish accent because Swedes, or something like that. I'm Swedish. The internet is beautiful. I am exempt from Irish.
What is taught in Irish class?
Portuguese. Irish. It's a language.
Irish isn't a language. Gaelic or Celtic is the Irish language.
You sure about that? Are you Irish?
Yep, very sure. Yep, grandmother is from country Meth.
And I am an Irish citizen. What?
My grandma was made from meth, and I am a Irish citizen. The grammar is just like right there, tearing at the edge of annoyance.
So you're not from Ireland? You're so confident, yet so wrong.
Do some research, kid.
It's literally called Irish, I promise you. I always love how it's the people who say, like, do your research, who's never actually done their research. Isn't that amazing? Just like a basic Google search. Just like the guy who Googled, like, this is the way you say this phrase, and Google autocorrects them. They take a picture of the autocorrection and send it. Oh my god. I'm not even sure if I would call it doubling down. It's like trying to gaslight yourself or something like that. It's like, here's a screenshot of this correct thing, but it actually means this. I'm like gaslighting you in live time. You see, it says here on Google what the correct thing is, but that's not what it means. This is Graviton, an amusement ride. And please note that what the individual in the below image is doing is quite dangerous. He needs to stay completely straight in order to not get sucked into the wall in a terrific force. According to the fallacious gravity theory, here we go again, we are being held to the ground because the Earth is spinning. No, there's no model that says we're being held to the ground because the Earth is spinning. Well, number one, if we were on a spinning ball, we would get thrown off, not sucked into it. You just made up an argument that no one is actually arguing. And they're just like, oh, but I disproved it. The Earth is flat. But if in fact we were sucked towards the Earth, you would not be able to bend over, otherwise you would get sucked on the ground. Gravity is a hoax. The Earth is not spinning and is not a ball. I did this calculation in a previous video quite recently. We can show a clip here. Editor, clip time. So here we have our very good home planet. This is Earth. Everyone loves Earth. And if you're standing on the top of Earth, like a happy little feller that you are, wow, look at that. You're so happy. You also have cat ears because you're a viewer of the Click channel. Anyway, with this whole idea, right, you have one force pulling you downwards, which will be the noun Fg, which is your gravitational force, and a force upwards, which is your centrifugal force, which we will take as Fc. So, according to this argument, right, the Earth can't be round because when it starts spinning, you would be launched into space. Like, that's kind of funny. I like this argument. So, for that to physically happy to launch out this person with the cat ears and stuff into space, this force would need to be bigger than this force. So is Fc actually larger than Fg? We'll find out together, shall we? Fg is very simple. That's just your mass times gravity. So for me, for example, as a little Swedish feller, I weigh about 80 kilograms. The gravitational constant is like 9.81 or 82, something like that. So we'll just say that this is 800 Newton roughly. That's cool. That's how much I'm getting pushed into the ground. Wow, I feel heavy already. And now we're gonna have a bit of a color swap for pedagogical reasons. Fc equals your mass times the velocity you're going forward. Your velocity is like this. Yippee! That's v. So v squared divided by r. And you see, this is why FC becomes kind of tiny, because the Earth do be big, y'all. So this for me would be like 80 kilograms. Oh no, they're supposed to be squared. Why is my dyslexia writing it like a 1? This is why I failed so many tests in uni. Dear God, click. That was like a brief upbringing of trauma, my God. And the velocity is a total of 460 meters per second squared. And then we divide that with the total radius of Earth, which we also have to be in meters, because otherwise the dimensions are going to be all messy between this number and this number. Oh dear God, that's a big number. Okay, so the radius is 6. So this is going to be the force that tries to yeet us out into space. I'm gonna cheat and do this on my calculator. I'm not doing this one in my head. So you can see this force, if my calculation is correct, is very much smaller than this force. So conclusion is you wouldn't feel this at all. The centrifugal force that you feel from the Earth spinning is basically negligible. Where we actually calculated the force you're sucked into the ground with, also called gravity, and the force you get from the centrifugal force from spinning on the Earth, and realized the force from centrifugal stuff is much, much tinier than the gravitational pull, hence we're not flung into space. So we actually made this calculation in the previous video, and it came back. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? I love this. The symbol of H2O represents 1 molecule of hydrogen, 2 molecules of hydrogen, 1 atom of 2 atoms of hydrogen, and 1 atom of oxygen. Ba-ding, 89%.
Well, that is concerning. Almost everyone is wrong. The 2O means 2 oxygen, people.
Commas are also a thing. 2 oxygen, okay. Why would you point it at yourself with bullets? It not. Death needs a safety class or some common sense. Sense. Wrong. Right.
You know it wouldn't be a Confidently Incorrect video without some basic grammar.
Devout Christians have found by looking through a microscope a gene in your D and A.
By looking through a microscope, you found a gene in my D and A. Nice.
That makes you an atheist. It's the Satan gene. What do you say to that, atheists? Huh?
I looked with this microscope on your gene in your D and A, and I found Satine. Checkmate!
Satan made you this way, so God must be real.
Wait. Even if this was the case, okay? Even if you found a gene in the D and A that was the Satan gene, the only reason it would be called the Satan gene is because you decided to name it the Satan gene. Things that you look at in microscopes don't have like weird little things stamped into them. Or maybe that's what they believe. Maybe it's like, oh, if you zoom in enough, there'll be a little watermark on this gene that says it's from Satan.
God, this is so insane. I couldn't make this shit up, fam.
So, water expands when frozen. So when the polar ice melts, the ocean water level goes down, right?
Well, no. I can see your logic there, and it's halfway there, I suppose. If the ice was just floating, it would push away as much water as it has mass itself, meaning that if it melts, the water level is going to remain the same. But the problem is, of course, that not all ice is floating. The fact is that a very small portion of the ice is floating, meaning that most of the ice is resting on landmass. And if that melts and goes into the ocean, it's gonna be a quite big difference. So you can test this experiment yourself at home. If you put an ice cube in water and let it melt, the water will remain level. But instead, if you have an ice cube that you just, like, for example, hold over the water and let it drip into the water level is going to increase. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk about ice cubes.
They lied about the model of atoms. Look at this. It's 666. It's like a pentagram of atoms. And then we have a bunch of shit here at the bottom. That's the shapes of, I don't know, snowflakes or something. And here we have, what is this? Venus? Here's a woman, and she has Jupiters inside of her. And if you look at the solar system, it is planets. That means the atom was Satan all along. What the f***?
I don't even know what this picture is trying to... How do I debunk this when I don't even know what... How is this connected? It's just a random spiritual picture of planets. And then it's saying that atoms are like pentagrams or whatever.
And also, dear God, I just noticed, isn't that just the Star of David? It's not even a pentagram.
Well, it's not a pentagram, but 666, I suppose. It needs to be 6 corners, but that's just... Oh, this is amazing.
Riddle me this! If the sun is 93 million miles away, why does it light up the Earth, but not outer space? Tell me that, Batman!
Because there is no space.
Oh, okay, this one is illogical for any opinion. Light reflects what it hits, not empty space.
Prove the sky is a vacuum first, little cultist. Riddle me this! If the core of the earth is liquid hot magma, why is the oceans freezing cold?
I went skinny dipping in Sweden recently, and it was fucking cold. How do you explain that? If the ball is fire inside.
It's because Sweden isn't real.
I believe currently that the moon is a projected focal point of light, just like the sun is a projected focal point of light. They have the same source. The Earth's invisible electromagnetic magnetic energy rises upward until it collimates at the apex of the celestial dome. From there, it splits to positive sun and negative moon, then refracts back down onto two invisible focused beams of energy.
Oh, okay, so the electromagnetic magnetic energy just like concentrates like this, like, you know, in a what do you even call it, like a magnifying glass, and then it laser beams down into your little eyeball, and that's the sun, baby, and also the moon.
When those beams hit the superfluid, they excite the ionized gases and become visible focal points of light.
This is like when you ask an AI to like word poopify a text you wrote. Can you rewrite this but use a bunch of fancy words that I don't even know what they mean? Yeah, sure, here you go. Average ChatGPT prompt, hell yeah.
The moon's translucent focal point circular field of light acts as a photosensitive film like an old camera film, only far more advanced. Its photosensitive field captures two images in itself, the lands of the surface and the markings and features of the celestial dome. The lands are an X-ray image and the dome is an MRI image. It also acts like a glow-in-the-dark substance, meaning it charges and discharges with the sun's light energy every 28 to 30 days. At least this is my best explanation/theory currently.
How the hell have we gotten to a point where, like, these theories are getting more intricate and complex than just saying, gee, mass has gravity, so we have balls of mass circling around each other. This is, like, so intricate and complex and weird. And most of it is just word pooping. Oh, man.
The more you know, the sun isn't 93 million miles away.
The sun is a burning ball of gas.
How can it burn in space without oxygen?
Oh, shock turning around in car meme. 24 hours of light in Antarctica during our winter solace, its summer solace, is also explained by this model. Notice the ring of light in the left pic would surround the edge, Antarctica, of our current livable area in the right pic. 24 hours of light fits this model perfectly. A 24-hour visible sun doesn't happen. Okay, so now the solace is explained by if we have a glass dome that reflects everything in a circle at a certain angle, then I guess, yeah, great.
Sunlight, what people think it does, causes cancer and causes vitamin D. What it actually does, prevents cancer and vitamin D, and also lowers blood pressure, produces ATP, increases subcellular melatonin, important for melanin metabolism.
Are you just mashing words together? I don't know if these are like actual things sometimes that is the case, that is just used in the wrong context, and I think it's just made up, but it's a real thing. They just like word poop it. But this just feels like they've put words together, you know?
Endorphin release, balances mood, balance hormones, supports blood flow.
Yup, I ended up magnetic from working around fully vaxxed coworkers. I managed to reverse that.
We are the future, Charles, not them. They no longer matter.
You literally get turned into Magneto from a vaccine. That's pretty cool. Fire requires oxygen. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Science!
Oh gee, it's almost as if it isn't like a literal fire. Could there be like other processes in the universe that glow and are hot?
No, I guess they don't. It must be. It's like a campfire. The sun is a giant campfire. Blue pill ingredients. Water sticks to a spinning ball. We explained in a previous video how gravity is stronger than spinny throwing out into space effect. FEMA is just like camping. We evolved from a soup.
Okay, so we're past the point of like, how could humans evolve from monkeys if there are still monkeys? We're no longer at that stage. Now we're like, how could humans evolve from soup if there are still soups?
Okay, I know that's not the argument, but it's really funny. False flags are true. Predictive programming is not bad. Crisis actors are not actors. Deep state is quite shallow. Global warming is cool. Jet fuel melts steel beams. Okay, one thing about like materials and stuff is that you don't need to like literally melt things to have them deform or use some of their supportive capabilities. This is just basic solid mechanics. 2 planes took down 3 buildings, sea levels are rising, those clouds are just contrails. Epstein did the shmagook. The jab is safe and effective, your government cares for you. Eating bugs is the answer.
I know there are many more, but I could have fit them all in. Feel free to add to it. My beautiful list of blue pill.
The ancient Egyptians knew all about the firmament because there's a giant blue yoga star lady on this mural. The Egyptians knew what they were. They knew it all.
LGBT doesn't exist in Pokemon, dummy.
Pokemon X and Y includes a beauty class trainer implied to be transgender. She states how she used to be a black belt, a male-only trainer class with her Japanese dialogue, crediting medical science as the cause of her transformation. And here is a link. Did you find this helpful? Indeed. Thank you, Twitter community notes, bringing the world a little bit of hope.
A simple, beautiful life. I was made to read books, wear pretty dresses, spend time in nature, and fall wildly in love.
Readers added context, strawberries do not grow on trees.
Which is actually, she actually staged this thing, picking strawberries out of some random tree. Oh, this is amazing. I just love being in the countryside. Look at me being in the country. This is like in someone's backyard, posing with strawberries they bought in like the nearest convenience store, and they don't even know how strawberries grow. Holy shit.
The Guy Game. Woo! Readers added context. One of the female models presented into this game, whose topless image could be seen within, was only 17 years old at the time of this game's release. Thus, the game is legally classified as and it's not legal for sale, ownership, or distribution. That is absolutely insane. Oh my god.
If the vaccine was so great, why is it so easy to find people who regret taking it, but not a single person who regrets not taking it? Spot on!
Readers added context. It's actually very easy to find tons of people who regretted not getting the COVID vaccine, and here's like links and more links. Oh my god, that's a lot of links. I mean, I know people who literally passed away during the pandemic, you know, before the vaccines were even a thing, but I suppose they don't regret it at this point, you know. I'm not sure if they could, so that's a catch, I suppose, but yeah. How I use a one-handed keyboard. Oh, that is really cool. Look at that. So the keyboard is like very oval around your hand, so you can type fast when you learn it with one hand, despite only having one hand. That's really cool. That's a cool design.
I think this would be less effective because your memory of where keys are is offset, so you're looking at your keyboard the whole time. I mean, I understand the ergonomics, but the functional use just doesn't make sense. So yes, indeed, I am so smart.
My guy, you will get used to it and never need to look at it after a few weeks of practice. It's like using a new controller or drawing with a drawing tablet that doesn't have a screen, etc. What about the traditional keyboards you're using? Don't you realize you can never learn this keyboard? Your memory bank in your brain is maxed out by the first keyboard. You can't overwrite it or learn a new one. Memory is very limited. Flying over America, look at all the states. Oh my god.
Oh, that's really funny. It's so funny. I think this one is like a very, very, very satire, but it's very funny.
Well, laddies, lasses, and lassos, I do hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed having you here, and that you learned something, if nothing else, that the internet is a beautiful place, isn't it? Have an amazing rest of your day, you wonderful, beautiful being, and I will see you in the very near future. Take care. Mwah.